Greetings, all. Shardvixen here. Alright, sorry about last week. I have been struggling with some stuff. Always struggling with mental health, always struggling with fibromyalgia, but also struggling with getting stuff situated. Since sorry, my face is. Since my sister moved in, we've been trying to get space. space. Space, more space. And so I have been struggling with crafting stuff and lawn crafting stuff and moving rooms around and getting things situated. So that's where I'm at with that. So I just, last week I got home Friday and I just didn't feel like making a blog, and I've been trying to be more aware of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, why I'm not doing it, and dealing with, my diet, my exercise, and stuff like that. So I haven't been exercising much. I've been having problems with my diet. I'm doing a flip-flop diet because you hit a plateau when you lose weight, and I've hit that plateau, and it's because your body's used to. I've been doing my diet for over a year. My body is used to eating that way. It wants to go to eating the way it used to eat. So in a flip-flop, you still only eat about 1,600 calories a week, but you allow yourself to eat more on certain days and less on other days. So that triggers your metabolism not to store the fat. So I'm struggling to get on that diet. I haven't been doing well on that yet. So this vlog is actually a topic vlog, and the topic, I thought, let's do something kind of fun. So the topic that I'm going to do is if I could build a man. I suppose if I wanted to build a woman. But think of like weird science. So I don't know how many of you have watched Weird Science, but it is a 1980s movie. Probably on the list of not okay movies anymore. But it had Anthony Michael Hall in it. I can't think of the little dark-haired dude in it. And they're both these science nerds who decide to build a woman. And why can't I think of her name? The woman. I'll put it in I'll look it up and put it in. But she comes out to be the epitome of the perfect female. And so then a lot of weird stuff starts to happen. So it's kind of interesting. And I always, the one part out in that movie that always I always remember is the older brother. I can't remember his name, but the one that always picks on him. He also went on to be in that Storm Chaser movie. But whenever I see him, that's all I think of is Weird Science. It's probably not good. So I also, I struggle greatly with whether I should keep the channels going. So if you watch this, let me know if you think I should keep my channels going. I probably will anyway, regardless of if anybody answers or not. But I'm really, just kind of wondering if I should just go back to more of a spectator standpoint, or if I should continue doing what I'm doing because I like it. And here comes Feather. I put my mask on and she immediately wants to sit in my lap. I don't know why. Go, okay, go lay down. You're okay. No, go lay down. Go lay down over there. When I'm talking about building a man, I'm not talking about the physical sense, because we all know if I had my choice, it would just be Wolverine that I'd want. Sabretooth's kind of nice too. So it's either short and squatty or tall and big. Those doesn't really. It's like that's a wide range, but it's the same range that everybody else would want, right? So like Wolverine or Mountain from Game of Thrones, I always think of Sabretooth though, because Sabretooth technically is Wolverine, except what if Wolverine was tortured and traumatized and, didn't bounce back, from all the things that happened to him. Because if you think about it, they have similar But Wolverine's this really strong kind of personality, whereas Sabretooth is the weaker part of the personalities, which is how we all are. You know, there are those parts of us that are extremely rooted and deep, and we have conviction for them, and they keep us on the track. And then there's the other part of our personality that is sad, and it tends to wallow in pity and has a very hard time. It's always about me and not them, and it's everybody else's fault, not my fault, kind of thing. Um, in psychology or behavioral science, we call that the why am oh god, I'm gonna have to look that up. There's a word for it. Sorry, it just word does that. Autistic people with autism tend to have that. Egocentricity. It means you're just right here. It's all about here. It's not a negative or a positive. It's just right about here. It's just that when asked what they look at first, it's going to be this area rather than that area out there. Children are egocentrical. You know, especially like 5 to 10 years old. It's all about me. I don't count 0 to 5 because technically it would be all about me because they can't really effectively take care of themselves. But from 5 to 10, it's that way. And teenagers, of course, go through that stage again. Middle-agers, for a time period, it's all about me and my friends. In teenagers, it's all about pushing away. So, alright, to get back on it. So if I was to create a man, and here's the thing, I'm a witch. That's pagan. I believe in witchcraft. I don't do a lot of physical witchcraft. I do a lot of mental witchcraft, which is a lot of thinking a certain way and then creating a spell and thinking that way all the time. But I have physical spells I do sometimes, and a while back I did a couple physical spells that are like, not a love spell, but a wish, like a wish. Like, how would I want, what would be my list if I was to looking for somebody? And if you ever get a chance, watch the movie Ugly Truth with Jal Butler. I can't think of the chick's name because she's not one of my favorite. I mean, I can see her face, another blonde lady. But in that, they talk about lists, and it's kind of true. A lot of people say they don't have lists, but really human beings are all about lists and stereotypes and groups and categorizations and sticking things here and there and there, because that's how they want. That's how you make sense of your world. It's how you put things in boxes. So any sounds outside and around, it's because my windows are open. It's a little warm here, though I'm cold right now. I'm going to have to go outside and stand in the sun because I've got a cold spell going on, which is a very fibromyalgia thing. It's cold spells for me. Anyway, so I made a spell. I made tokens that had personality types that I really wanted in a person. And then I also made a picture, because a lot of my spells are picture poster stuff, and I made one of those for that. First, they would have to be more interested in the intellect and personality of a person. I don't know what kind of personality trait that is. We know the negative word for it is shallow. If you are only interested in somebody for, I guess maybe you could also say, if you were only interested in superficial things. So intelligence isn't considered superficial as far as I know, but maybe it is. But anyway, so superficial as in, your face, your weight, whether you wear makeup or not, whether you wear dresses or not, or things like that. So I would want a gentleman who was more interested in the underneath of me. And that's not because of my age. That's always been my case. I always wanted somebody who was more interested in that. I want them to see my beauty as it shines outwardly, not hopefully inwardly. Though I guess if I was beautiful on the outside, I would hope I would be beautiful on the inside as well, but one never knows about that. I'd want somebody who is that quiet patience, like it takes a while for it to build up, and then they don't explode. I don't want exploders. I want somebody who has that calm. Um, they can keep their anger in check, I guess, because I have a hard time keeping my anger in check, and that's because of a lot of reasons. I don't have very good coping skills with anger. I don't have very good coping skills with frustration. I have better now than I had, say, 30 years ago. But, and I'm really patient with, children and stuff. Not my own, of course. You're never patient with your own children. But I try very hard to be patient with my children, So I'd want a gentleman that could hold that and still talk about it. So, like, not only be able to control their anger and their frustration, but be able to say, okay, you know what, right now I'm just so off the top. I have a really big problem. And then they walk away. And then come back. I can't stand the people that walk away, and then that's it. That's the end of the conversation. We don't talk about it no more. Those drive me nuts. I have a hard time with people walking away from me, but I would rather a person walk away than engage when they're angry, because when you engage with somebody when you're angry, on either side, after a while, the conversation of what it is about is lost to the slinging of anger words back and forth. It's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. And then that gets into nastier stuff, and then the whole concept of what was going on is lost. I want someone who enjoys trying new things. And whenever you put that on something, people always think you mean sex. And I'm not talking about new sexual thing. I'm 50 years old. I'm sure there is some new ones I haven't tried that I don't have an interest in trying or exploring or any of that. But I'm talking just try new things, teach somebody the things you enjoy, and then, so sharing would be a good thing. I like that sense of, I don't know if it's loyalty or not, but the sense of sticking by someone, standing. But I don't want people just standing with me even when I'm wrong. I want them to be able to say to me, "You're not right. That's not okay. Maybe you should rethink that." I don't want to just automatically, "Oh yeah, that's my woman. She ain't wrong. That's my man. He ain't wrong." Because I don't do that. I have never stand by someone that I know is wrong. So that's wrong. It gives them a false sense of thinking it's right or it's okay to be that way when it's not. So I don't do it with my kids. I don't want my kids to do it. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. If it's opinion, you have your opinion, I have my opinion, that's okay. Intellect. I want an intelligent person. And I'm not saying an educated, book-learned person. I'm talking about a person who is intelligent enough to have a conversation, open in mind enough to be able to carry on that conversation and have some interesting input. It drives me nuts when you're talking to somebody and they're going, I agree with it. Yes. Oh, yes, totally. Do you have any clue what I just said? Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's just not my thing. I'm not interested. And they probably didn't even understand to begin with. I think I would want somebody who is generous. I don't mean like my daughter is. My daughter's very generous. I'm generous. Help you out if you need help. That money is not the most important thing in their lives. We all like money, yes, and there are points in time when money is very much needed, but it should not be that which drives you. It should be the need to help other people, the need to create things, the need to make a better world, the need, an outside yourself kind of need of doing things. Not, I need all the money in the world, I need to be a billionaire, and then I'm going to keep it all to myself. It's not to say I wouldn't want to meet someone who had the drive And I have dated men who had no jobs, had no income, to dating men who did nothing but work, 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 work. It's not that issue. It's more of a sense of um, being able to support myself, do the things I need to do, but not do it to a point that I'm saving all this money, but for nothing. I've dated people like that. They work, 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 work. Money's put into a thing. They got a lot of money, but they're not doing anything. They're not happy. Happy or content would be something I would want in my man. I would want to build my man who was content and happy with what was going on within his little circle, including my circle too. Let's see what else. Liked animals, of course. That would be a plus. Gotta like animals. Gotta like kids. I don't like you right now. Take your ball and go away. I do like you, but take your ball and go away. She's stepping all over my feet. I'm not rewarding this behavior. I don't want to play with you right now. Go lay down, Feather. Good girl. What else? A sense of adventure. I have a sense of adventure, but have a hard time leaving my house. If I was with somebody and they said, "Hey, let's go out," and they show up and they say, "We're going to the coast," that would be awesome. We're going up to the waterfalls. That would be awesome. Let's go try something new we have never done before. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go to a museum. Let's do. I like that sense of, I've got a plan, we're going to go, let's have fun, we're going to enjoy ourselves, we're going to enlighten ourselves, we're going to open our mind, we're going to become, we're going to see the world for the world that it is. Or let's go take a walk along the river and talk about whatever. I like that too. I'd build somebody who was good with growing things, and somebody that was good with fixing things, and good with problem solving, and good with, if I can't do it, at least I know it's time to move it on to somebody else. Electronically minded would probably be good. I had a friend once that said she wanted a mechanic cowboy, because she was a horse rider and she liked to ride horses, but she wasn't a cowgirl. But she wanted somebody that had that same similar background and whatever. I don't want anybody with a background like mine. I want somebody that is coming from a good family, is not dysfunctional family unit, and who has a good sense of self. I need somebody with a good sense of self. So I would build a man with a good sense of self. I would build a man and put him in my closet, and there he would stay. Nobody else could have him. He'd be mine, only mine. I would have put somebody that had a good sense of knowing when it's time to have a separation. I'm not good with that, because I think that if we separate, then somebody's going to swoop in and get them, or they're going to realize the insanity of the relationship and they're going to leave. But if I was building a man, I want him to have a good sense of that. I want him to know when it's time to say, let's take a little bit of a break, let's rest, not to break up or anything like that. Just, it's time, for us each to have our own little time, our own little space, our own little thing. I did say good family, right? Loving. It have to be a loving. That would have to be one of those pieces of the recipe, is loving in there. Creative. Creative would be another one. And everyone's creative, so don't get me wrong on that. But the sense of knowing that person's creative and wanting to create things. And it could be anything. It could be making video games. So, here's the thing I don't want. I don't want a male version of me, because I don't believe in that anyway. So I don't want a person that's like me. There can be similar traits. So that's why if I was going to make one, I would make them opposite. So my plus parts, I would try to make them close to that or opposite of that. Unless it was deadly, then I wouldn't do that. But, I don't know. But yes, they would either look like Wolverine or Sabretooth, and they would have, not Sabretooth really, because I don't really like Sabretooth that much. I like, Wolverine. Who's another one I really like? Nobody. Pretty much Wolverine. I mean, any big dude, but like, Yeah, I like them big. I decided what I want is I want the boys in the background. I want a man to say to me like in that movie Robin Hood from 2010, the one with Russell Crowe, where the big little John looks at the woman, says, "I want a woman, big woman." And he looks over and says, "I'm gonna make you smile." I want somebody to say, "I'm gonna make you smile." That's what I want them to do. I very rarely meet people like that that say that. But that's kind of what I would like in life. But okay, so that's it. There'd be more I'd add to that. I want a person that's a hard worker, driven to the, not like I said, obsessively. I want a person that kind of has things going on in their life and can work on those things when I'm working on my things, kind of thing. Um, I don't know, what are the plus of personalities that what is the most important thing in a personality that you like? Being kind is a big one. Yeah, because I didn't have a lot of that growing up. All right, so I'll catch you all on the flip side next week. If I do it on time, should be Rambling 101. So, peace.